Hey everybody, Eric Sweats here for the Gamer, joined by George Foster.
Hello, how are we?
We're looking at Dynasty Warriors Origins.
We are looking at Dynasty Warriors Origins, yes.
The
That is what it's
Muso
called.
is back. Do you like these games? Do you play these games?
Yeah, that's always the best place to start with. Really any kind of topic, especially when it's something that's been out of the conversation a while.
Right.
I love the spin-offs. I've played a lot of Hyrule
Like
Warriors,
Zelda.
Zelda,
Yeah.
the Fire Emblem one was decent.
Uh-huh.
The Persona 5 one, which I completely forgot about
Oh, right,
until after
yeah,
my
yeah.
preview, that is the best one. That is probably the best Persona 5 game.
We were talking
Controversial.
about they should have done a Kingdom Hearts.
I have been dying for a Kingdom Hearts
Would have
one.
been
That
very
is,
cool.
that would be the dream. That
Yeah.
fits it perfectly. You have Heartless. You know, it makes itself.
Yeah.
But the base games, I've never
Yeah.
really. I don't know. It's tough. I think we know me. I like my IP. I like my cartoons, my characters, my marketable characters, I guess. And when you have that attached to a game, it's easy to get into it. I like seeing how they
Sure.
take the Muso gameplay and spin it around. And characters like Persona 5 still had the moments where you pull someone's mask off, and
There's
Hyrule
characters you
Warriors-
want to unlock.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel kind of out of the loop to say with like Dynasty Warriors, I know Lubu, I know some of them, but because it's based around actual historical stuff and I'm a massive,
Uh-huh.
massive idiot, it always went straight over my head. I've really tried to in the past. I believe the most recent Dynasty Warriors games haven't been super well received. I think 9
Right.
tried to go open world, if I remember. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
No, it tried. I'm pretty sure it was 9. It might have been 8, but it tried to go open world, and everyone hated it, and it was not very good.
Yeah, I dabbled with these when I was a kid. The hook of kill 1,000 dudes at once was not enough to keep my attention long term.
Yeah.
I like that. It is cool, but I needed more. I needed more progression or more story or something else besides just what if you swung a sword and 1,000 dudes died.
Yeah.
But I'm always excited for a reinvention. And like you said, this one's been gone for a while. So
Yeah.
you got a chance to play it. What do you think of Origins?
I did. Well, this is it. To your point about needing something more, I think that's the problem with the spin-offs in a way. It's like, why would you do the main series when you know, give it 4 years and you could turn around and, hey, boom, Star Wars Warriors, you know?
Yeah.
That's what's always struggled with me. And then the series' massive legacy, both in how it covers the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is something I don't even really understand still after playing. How it covers that, I always thought, you know, if they do Dynasty Warriors 10, it's going to be too scary to jump in now. Like, the train is too far out the station. I'll wait for Kingdom Hearts Warriors. But Origins does the smart thing, and it goes, right, it's not like a reboot. It's like it's kind of hard to describe as someone who's not super familiar. But from my understanding of it, it tells the first half of the story that's always told in Dynasty Warriors, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but it focuses it on a new, mysterious character with amnesia, who I guess is supposed to be like the player insert.
Oh, okay.
So in the sense that, you know, say you're like me, you know nothing. Well, there you go. There's your amnesiac character who knows nothing as well.
Right.
He's meeting these characters for the first time. He's getting involved in the action for the first time. To that, I think that's brilliant. I think that's the best thing they could have done for the series. Especially when generally the combat systems of the Muso games are so well accepted and beloved. I think it's just really hard to get into as someone, you know, it's such a long going series now. They needed to do something like this.
Yeah, it feels like it has an audience, and if you're not part of that audience, then it's not for you. So this is definitely one of those games that needs sort of a soft reboot at this point.
I don't. This is it again. I am not super familiar with Dynasty Warriors, so I don't know what exactly it does with the story. I don't know how it changes it, but the way it was kind of described to me is like, think of it as sort of an alternate retelling of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's confusing. It's really confusing. I don't know the history. I don't know anything about the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but what I do know is that I love beating the crap out of thousands of enemies at once. And if that's what
Yeah.
you're interested in, Origins has that, and to a scale that's kind of mind blowing. Like, I remember when I first played, I can't believe I'm going to mention it, Dead Rising for the first time. The number of zombies on screen there blew my mind. I had that same feeling again in Origins.
Yeah.
The
It's
scale of the
a little
battles is just
power of the
nuts.
PS5
Yeah, a
vibe.
little bit of the power of the PS5, like
Yeah.
a rare moment of that. You have these moments where it's towards the end of a battle. I think they're called grand tactics, and it's when you've done enough of the strategizing, you've captured enough bases, and then you have a full-on assault, like literally straight into their base, and there are like thousands of people there,
Yeah.
and you're just tearing through them. Like that was one of those moments. I hate to say it, I hate to be cringe, but jaw to the floor. I was genuinely surprised that it could manage that. Like it's not a looker. The Dynasty Warrior games are not lookers.
That's
but
what I was curious about. Yeah, like after quite a few years, is this one? It sounds like you're saying this one is not going for graphical powerhouse.
But it still has like decent graphics. That's the thing. It's not. I went back and looked at. I think it is 9. Dynasty Warriors 9, the open world
Yeah.
one. It looks bad. I'm pretty sure it's a PS4 game. It looks like a
Yeah.
PS3 game. This sits comfortably. Like the character models are good. It's a little janky at times, but it doesn't look bad. But it also doesn't focus on that. It's more about making the most out of how many things they can chuck on screen, which I
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
And that moment-to-moment gameplay, like you know it, I know it. It's great. Like it's just as great as it's ever been. Again, I'm not as familiar with the series as most, so I can't, off the top of my head, say if this is new. But they have a parry now, which is super cool.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't know either. But it feels great, especially on the one-on-one battles. You have quite a lot of them against like other officers. Those are probably my favorite moments. Like the rest of it is just gaming junk food. I think is probably
Right.
the best way to describe it.
How
And
much
I
of
don't
it
want
did
to
you play?
disparage it. I played 4 hours.
Okay.
I believe. So I played.
Did you play a bunch of different characters?
So that's kind of the thing about Dynasty Warriors Origins. You don't really play as other characters.
No.
That is the controversial thing. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Instead, yeah, no, really. The character that you have, the basically self-insert amnesiac character, you can temporarily take control of other officers in battle. But this one
okay.
character has 9 weapon types, and you swap between them.
That's,
Now, I didn't mind
That's a
that.
bold choice.
Yeah, and you tell me a little bit how you feel about that, because I guess if you've
I
been playing
mean,
it for a while,
it just seems so essential to this genre. I think Dynasty Warriors 9 had hundreds of characters.
I think it was
O-
94.
Over 100, 94? Not since they took the trading out of Pokemon Trading Card Game Live have I felt like this a series has abandoned such a core mechanic. That is weird. I could see why
I knew
fans
it-
would not be happy about that.
They aren't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know how big the roster was until sort of looking into it, and to see it go from 94 to, I believe it's technically 10. So you have your character,
Wow.
and then 9 officers you recruit.
Okay.
Yeah, this surprises me that it's such a. I quite liked it. I thought that the 9 weapon types had enough variety. I didn't really care about mixing it with other characters because you can still call them in temporarily to pull off more moves, and they feel more rewarding like that. But
Well, I think so much of the progression was tied to unlocking more characters. So like, how do you move forward through this game now?
so the only mode that I played, and I don't know if it is the only mode, but it was like a story mode, and you're just kind of progressing through missions like that. But you do have weapons that you level up and get proficiency in. And as you get that, you can also level up yourself with new abilities, like
Skill tree stuff.
It's actually, yeah, it's like a pretty big skill tree split up into several things. I didn't get to do too much of it.
Okay.
It was a lot of the introductory hours and just learning how to play.
So deeper on the customization.
Yeah,
rather
like there's
than-
more to this one character than
Yeah.
I can imagine it would be for other games where it's like they have a big moveset, but you don't do much with them. This
Yeah.
one feels like there's a lot you can do. And the different weapons, of course. There's like a spear, there's some like chakram things, there's sword, axe. I believe one's just like fists. So
Yeah.
there's quite a lot there.
Do you think that's what you think what it's doing is compelling enough to compete with the modern sort of Souls inspired. I mean, it just seems like player taste has changed so much. Not that Dynasty Warriors was ever like the biggest action game in the world or anything, but
It
I
was its
mean,
own thing, right?
it was always its own thing. But this kind of sounds like an attempt to modernize in a way that maybe is still not quite. I mean, we're looking at like our Game of the Year awards, and we've got Black Myth Wukong and Shadow of the
Mm.
Erd Tree, and this feels like such an antiquated type of action game.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think for me, in the sense the last one tried to go open world and failed,
Yeah,
I would prefer Dynasty Warriors stuck in its lane and did what it does best. Now, the argument to be made, does it do that with the number of characters it has? That's something for someone. That's for the final game to know. And
yeah,
that's for people who like are really into it to say. As a newcomer, which I think is what Origins is going for,
yeah,
it got me. Like it feels so satisfying to play, and it's such a good turn your brain off, run around, kill stuff, capture areas, launch massive attacks, and not think too much.
mm,
That's what it does best, and I think that's what it should do. I
yeah.
don't think you can do Dynasty Warriors any other way.
Do you think you'll play this?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When does it come out?
January, I believe 13th, but it's definitely January, so like really close now.
Yeah. Well, January's a good time too, trying to get it out before February when
Yeah,
everything comes
everything
out,
is
right?
out. Yeah,
So,
we'll
uh,
revisit in January, I'm sure.
yeah. We'll come back to it in January. Okay, cool. Thanks, gamer, and thank you for tuning in. We will have a full preview for Dynasty Warrior Origin linked down in the description. That's for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and visit us at thegamer.com. That's the gamer, no spaces.